get a roll call? Members, please.
Supervisor Reynolds. Here. Supervisor Jeffrey Trout. Supervisor Brownell. Here. Supervisor Latini. Here. Supervisor Borst.
Here.
Supervisor Hayes.
Here.
Supervisor Schmitter.
Here.
Supervisor Cronenwater. Here. Supervisor Reinhardt.
Here.
Supervisor Partee.
Here.
Supervisor Heisen. Here. Supervisor Don Trout. Supervisor Enslow.
Here.
Supervisor Shipley.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Please join us for Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. First up tonight is we have a public hearing on local law number 4, setting the salaries for county public officers and designated senior counter personnel. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on opening the public hearing? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Public hearing is now open.
Make a motion to close the public hearing. Second.
First and a second. Any discussion on closing it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Open privilege of the floor. If anybody would like to address the board, now would be the time.
I have 20 people.
I guess not. Okay. Next up is approval of the minutes for December 10th, 2024 and December 23rd, 2024 year-end board minutes. Can I get a
Motion. Second.
second on that? Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Any special committees? Like to report anything? Okay. Rolling right along. I don't have anything. County Attorney, do you have anything tonight? Thank you. Communications.
Communications 1 through 20 have been received and filed.
Thank you. All right. First up is Ways and Means, number 11, Supervisor Partee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First up, Board of Supervisors authorizes contracts with affiliate organizations for 2025.
Motion.
Second.
A second on that. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 12.
Board of Supervisors authorizes amendments to the 2024 Seneca County budget.
Support.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next up, number 13, Supervisor Heisen.
Supervisors approve 2025 mental health services provider agency contract.
Support.
A second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 14.
Authorizing contract with the New York State Department of Health for the lead poisoning prevention grant.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 15.
Authorizing a contract with the New York State Department of Health for the early intervention administration grant.
Support. Second.
Second on that. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 16.
Authorizing a contract with the New York State Department of Health for the children and youth with special health care needs administration grant.
Support.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 17.
Seneca County Board of Supervisors accept $10,284 from the University of Rochester in support of services to Seneca County residents impacted by opioid use disorder/substance use.
Support.
A second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 18.
Board approves Seneca County Mental Health Department purchase of two 2025 Chrysler Pacifica four-range minivans.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next up, 19, Supervisor Reinhardt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Authorize renewal with Auctions International.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion?
I'd just like to mention that
Supervisor.
we make sure that whatever we're selling is available to all departments first. 'Cause I don't think we should be selling something that some other department could use, and then we have to buy it at 10 times the price.
Yeah, that's something we should put on our goal list.
Yeah.
Talk about that. That was brought up before by Supervisor.
Like border walls.
Put her up.
Any more discussion?
We spread out the surplus pretty good all over the departments, and townships too.
That's good. That's what we'd like to see, because no sense selling a extension cord for $1 and then buying one for 10 for another department.
Yeah, if they need file cabinets, desks that we have in surplus, they're more than welcome to reach out to us. We've done it in the past, we've always done it.
We got quite a few.
Thank you, Bob.
Most of the stuff that we do get though, Frank, is pretty beat up.
No, I agree.
We
Yeah.
can't point at surplus, with the exception of file cabinets, depending on the use of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 20.
Supervisors name responsible local official of the representative of the County of Seneca to the New York State Department of Transportation.
Support.
Got a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 21, Supervisor Cronewater.
Resolution regarding Cargill Incorporated's permit application for the Cuga salt mine.
Got a second? Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to just read the second whereas as a discussion. Whereas the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation has declared itself the lead agency under the State Environmental Quality Review Act and issued a negative declaration despite the application being classified as a Type 1 action, which typically requires a more thorough environmental review.
So if I may,
Supervisor.
Chairman, I think they just extended it to public comment, but it ends, I think, maybe this week or next week. I just did it at my board
Yeah, I
meeting. They
think they had
extended the
The
time.
19th, that's why,
Okay, yeah. So if people want to reach out, they can.
copy of this resolution will be sent to comment at Cuga Salt Mine, DEC Commissioner, Dareth Glantz, OGS Commissioner, Janet Moy, DEC Permit Administrator, Jonathan Stercho, to ensure that the voices of Seneca County residents are heard in this critical decision-making process.
We'll get it there on,
Pardon?
it'll be there on time.
Yeah.
Might make it.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 22.
Appoint Michael Reynolds and Jeffrey Trout to the Seneca County Soil and Water Conservation District Board.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 23.
Appoint Charles Sumner as member-at-large to the Seneca County Soil and Water Conservation Board.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 24.
Appoint John Hunt as grain representative to the Seneca County Soil and Water Conservation Board.
Support.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 25, Supervisor Borst.
Revising policy number 101.700, health and benefits policies and procedures.
Support.
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 26.
Acceptance of absentee ballot prepaid postage grant extension program for Seneca County Board of Elections.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 27.
Acceptance of technology innovation and election resource tier grant program for Seneca County Board of Elections.
Support.
Second.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 28.
Acceptance of 2024 general election grant program for Seneca County Board of Elections.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 29.
Acceptance of ballot by mail grant program for Seneca County Board of Elections.
Support. Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 30.
Acceptance of shoebox grant program for Seneca County Board of Elections.
Support.
Second.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 31.
Acceptance of HAVA education grant program for Seneca County Board of Elections.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 32.
Resolution to adopt local law 4 of the year 2024, setting salaries for current elected officials, county public officers, and previously designated senior county personnel for the year 2025, and application of the Seneca County 2025 non-bargaining unit and management salary schedule to said positions.
Support. Get a second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 33.
New York State Association of Counties 100-year anniversary.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 34.
Seneca County Board of Supervisors amends and adopts rules of order for 2025 and 2026.
Support.
Got a
Second.
second? Any discussion?
Just had one thing to mention on to it. Page 31, line F. It did say one meeting in October, but it was changed to one meeting a year versus listing the month, so we're not tied into the month. I know not last year, the year before, we were in construction and we ended up having to meet in November, so that's been just changed to that.
Thank you. Any other discussion on that?
There's one more.
Two shire, not that shire. There's two shire.
Typo? Supervisor Borst, do you have something else you were going to say?
Yeah, we can get back to that. So on page 38, in section C, there's, the board needs to have a quick decision on, right now our limit is 5 minutes. This resolution is written with a choice of 3 to 5 minutes. So we need to set whether it's going to be a 3-minute time limit for the petitioners or a 5-minute time limit for the petitioners. What's the board's feelings onto it?
Depends on the topic.
So you going to amend this then?
It says both into it, so it needs to be amended to say one or the other. So it depends on what the board's feelings are.
I would like to keep it at 5 minutes.
I agree. We don't get that many. Let them have their time.
Never done it in the past.
right, so could I get a motion to amend number 34, the two mentions of 3 or 5 minutes to 5 minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Got a second on the amendment? Any discussion on the amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Going back to it, I don't know the proper term, if it's half or dual shire? Two shire?
You got two county captains.
Is that just considered a typo and we can just adapt it accordingly, or do we have to have an official
Typo.
typo?
Typo.
Okay.
So you want to read it as amended, sir, please?
Read it as amended. Let me go-
Not the whole thing, just as amended, the heading.
Number 34 as amended.
Get a
Support.
second? Got a second? Any discussion as amended? Yes, Supervisor.
On the, it says, shall schedule one meeting a year and have we set a date for that? This, I know we did it in November. We planning it, I know we did it during daylight. You know, it's not so dark in there.
Yeah, there's no,
We do it earlier in the year, you know?
it was originally written for
June 20th,
October.
I'm planning to do it.
We've changed it to one meeting a year, and that'll be set by the committee as determined. So we have a construction going on this year, so we have to go around the construction onto it.
Not
But we
set the
can,
date as of yet, though, no.
no, we won't set the date. We'll set the date about like 2 months ahead of time normally.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor as amended?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 35.
Supervisors rescind resolution number 205, 2024.
You get a second on that?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
There it is.
Okay, page 48, item number 36 is water and sewer. Supervisor Hayes.
Thank you, Chairman. Board of Supervisors approved water meter repair.
Support.
Got a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Any unfinished business? New business. Supervisor Shipley, you got it?
I offer a motion to introduce the following resolution and any and all new business to come before the board in accordance with Rule 29.
You get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Supervisor Brownell.
Moratorium of the understanding MOU between Seneca County and the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, DHSES.
Support.
Got a second? Any questions or anybody? Anybody have any questions for Melissa?
We're gonna keep all this,
Available to
Melissa.
towns?
Melissa, I'm gonna put you in the hot seat. You wanna come up? Yes, please. I figured there might be some questions, so let's get them answered.
Mike
You
and I
didn't
have
just wanna
the
hang
same.
out back there tonight, did you?
Okay, so Roy has space at the highway department because it's cold storage, so all this stuff can be put in cold storage. So they have space there. Basically, Homeland Security reached out to me yesterday and said that they have flood mitigation equipment for every single county. It's based on your flood risk, so some counties got more than others. And legally, they are not allowed to just gift us this equipment. So therefore, they are transferring possession, not ownership, to us. So it will be treated just like we treat Homeland Security grant purchased equipment, which is, in-house. We inventory everything and we make sure we know where everything is and inventory it annually. The county would be required to do any repairs on anything. I mean, if you look at most of this, it's their pumps and, sandbags, things like that, that would not need to be repaired. And it's for the county to use for its useful life, so they don't want it back.
Can towns borrow it from you, the county? Like, because a lot of times we get isolated area with flooding, would that be something available?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We do that all the time anyway. So the county equipment for flood mitigation purposes, we've used our sandbags, a sandbagger, things like that. Usually we have to rent the sandbagger, and then someone has to. We don't pay for it, but someone has to actually deliver it to us. And so they're actually giving us one, which will be huge because we've used that along Cuga Lake many times.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Supervisor?
To make sure the pumps will start when you need them, and the generator and the chainsaw.
That would be Roy Gates. Thank you. No, so we'll obviously check the equipment. We'll have to do annual checks on the equipment. We do that with all of our stuff anyway, so that's what we'll do. I mean, obviously, things can stop working. I had a boat once, and every time I put it in the water, it didn't work, so. Something was wrong with it.
I had one of those too.
Yeah, not anymore.
Dean had a boat, had that.
Any other questions for Melissa? Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Is there any other new business tonight? Special order of the day, Supervisor Reinhardt.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Good night, everyone.